Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're tuning in, whenever you're tuning in, everyone. It's Rod with the POW Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. It's Tuesday, February 20th. Hope you're doing well. We're going to get started with a live stream here in about a minute or so. We'll give people a last minute to join us, and we'll go over the market update that I normally do while we have everybody joining. And then if there's anybody that has any requests, ticker requests at the end, I'll do my best to get to all of those. But if you do have any ticker requests, just let me know the ticker and the exchange, and we'll get to those at the end. Any questions as well. I don't have a whole lot of time today. I probably have about 30 or 40 minutes. I do have a condo viewing. I've been on a buying spree, and now I'm looking to start offloading some condos. So I'm going to be potentially looking at selling a condo. Hopefully it sells tonight. So we're going to get started here in a minute. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so for people to join us. I see we have quite a few people tuning in. Welcome, welcome. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Jamlosi, Rod the man, the legend, you bet. Thanks for joining, Jamlosi. Good to see you. Hope everyone had a great long weekend, President's Day and Family Day for those in Canada. I've got myself a growing family and recently welcomed our daughter into the world. So it was a great R&R day yesterday. Lots of rest and relaxation with the family. It was absolutely amazing. So hopefully I had something similar with you and yours. Good luck with selling the condo. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, going to get started with the live stream today, folks. As always, I usually come on, do a market update, and then while we're waiting for people to join us, we'll do a quick market update. If anybody joins late, you can check out the market update a little bit later on, and you can rewatch the video. And if anybody does have any requests, please let me know inside of the live chat, and I'll do my best to get to all of those at the end. And like I said, even if you have any questions, let me know as well. But as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. You should never ever buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or anything that I write. Also, if you can smash the like, it helps support me in the channel. I would appreciate it. And you can also give us a follow over on X, which is formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. I'm going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And probably the most exciting news of the week, in my opinion, has to be that John Deaton is running for U.S. Senate, and he's looking to dethrone Elizabeth Warren from her seat in Massachusetts. So this is great to see. As we know, Elizabeth Warren has been very pro-MJ recently, and she's very anti-crypto. So I heard on one of his campaign videos here, John Deaton, that he's all about protecting the little guy. He talked about healthcare and kind of getting it back to the basics and taking away from the big pharmaceutical companies. So if I were to hazard a guess, I don't know for sure what his stance is on MJ, but I would hazard a guess that he probably doesn't have any issue with it. So if anybody's wondering if that's going to hurt our chances with, proponents and people who are advocates for MJ, I don't know. I'd like to potentially reach out to him here one of these times and see if I can get his views on MJ and whether or not he believes it should be legalized. It's just, if he thinks it's good for humanity, obviously, I would say that there's greater than 50% chance that he does. But yeah, curious what everybody thinks of this as well. But this is great to see. We can't have people like Elizabeth Warren trying to stifle innovation, especially in crypto, when the rest of the world is passing clear regulations and rules of the road. And we know that he's huge in the XRP army as well. So it's going to be some exciting times ahead, in my opinion. But with that, we'll take a look at the crypto space here at the moment. Altcoins continue to see explosive moves. We had like WorldCoin, we had HBAR recently moved. We're starting to see some signs of life on XRP, a few other utility coins as well. Filecoin was up. What else? There's just been multiple coins left, right, center popping off. One will go, the next will go after, right? And this is what we'll continue to see. And usually it's, the utility coins that go toward the end. So the XRPs is usually, the last one to go. So if anybody's kind of frustrated by the price action on some of these altcoins, just remember that it's usually the case where Bitcoin sees most of the buying pressure. We see Bitcoin dominance rise in a bull market. We have that halving coming up in April as well. We had the recent launch of the Bitcoin ETFs, and that's not going to stop there. Eventually, there's going to be other altcoin ETFs. There'll probably be an ETF with the top 10 altcoins, or the top, think of the S&P 500, or, all these other indexes that are out there, right? Indices. We could see a potential top 100 crypto portfolio or index, right? So this is all coming. And there was actually a video out today with an interview with Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple, and he said that they're very much on board with an XRP ETF. And one of the interviewers said, "Oh, have you been talking to BlackRock to get this done?" And he said, basically, if BlackRock wants to come out and say it, he's like, "I'm not going to step on anybody's toes," or I don't know if he's under any kind of NDA or you can't say anything, but you know, it's always a fine line when it comes to releasing news that isn't yet made to the public. So I think an ETF for XRP is inevitable as well. I still think that the most likely scenarios, we get a settlement between the SEC and Ripple. We could see Ripple IPO, we could see an XRP ETF. There's so many bullish catalysts on the horizon. It's not even funny. Stablecoin legalization at some point this year as well, in my opinion. So anyway, it's going to be an interesting year ahead. It's an election year as well. And I would highly encourage everybody to vote for John Deaton. I'm not American. I tried to donate today, but apparently you can't unless you're American. So if you're considering donating to his campaign, if you love crypto, like I said, I'll try to reach out to him, see if I can get his view on MJ, or if anybody has any videos or any kind of commentary from him on his views on MJ. I would love to hear it because, like I said, first and foremost, I want MJ. I love MJ. It's my passion. We cover MJ primarily on this channel, and secondly, crypto and blockchain. So my passion, what I was born to do, in my opinion, like my birthright and it was to spread the MJ gospel, right? So I'm here for one major thing only, and that is to spread the word of this amazing industry, this amazing plant and medicine of the future, right? I love crypto. I love blockchain. I'm a tech guy, but at heart, I'm definitely an MJ enthusiast and connoisseur first and foremost. So going to be interesting. But Bitcoin at the moment, it is a daily bull flag. So we've seen a nice run up. Did I already have it drawn out? I have to just take a look here and get rid of some of this stuff. Delete. So we did have a bull flag that played out, and we have another one setting up. So if we can basically just use the low here, because that was a very, very small pivot point. So we won't want to go with this high or low here. So from the low to the high, we didn't even lose the 0.236 yet. So the 0.32 fib must hold there at 48,665. As long as that holds, we're still a potential daily bull flag. And we actually did confirm it. 52,829 was resistance. We hit 52,971, and that technically confirmed the daily bull flag. So we'll get our measured move here on what we could potentially expect in terms of a target. So you just move that out to your 0.32 fib there, and it says we're targeting about 61K on the daily bull flag, which would bring us very, very close, within 8K from the all-time highs. So we just go to the monthly time frame here, look at Bitcoin. We go to 61K, which is the daily bull flag measured move. That is only about 14% away from all-time highs. And again, Bitcoin halving coming up in April, so all of the miners will be rewarded half of what they normally get. So the Bitcoins that they normally get rewarded for solving each block every 15, 20 minutes or something like that it is, they get X amount of Bitcoin. Well, that X amount of Bitcoin is going to be cut in half, right? So the supply goes down, demand goes up. So that in theory, supply and demand 101 should increase the value of the token, of the coin. But I'm not really in the camp that we're going to 100, 200K this bull cycle. I think we could potentially hit 75K, 80K. Everybody's going to think we're going to 100K or 200K on Bitcoin, but that's when I think we're going to see a massive reversal and potentially alt season begin after that. Once we start to see Bitcoin top out and altcoin dominance start to rise, I think that's when, and we're already seeing signs of it with, massive names, massive moves in some of these names. Let's just take a look at HBAR, for example, another project that I'm extremely bullish on. And I just posted some videos on that. I just did a Tilray video as well, and Aurora video for those who haven't seen that. But I just posted a video on Algorand, Hedera, Chainlink, very bullish. My top five holdings in my crypto portfolio. I'll have to do another crypto portfolio update for 2024. It's been a while. I think I did it a year or two ago. But my top 5 holdings are XRP, XLM, I think Hedera, Chainlink, Algorand, and then Litecoin. So I'll have to do another update soon. We can see HBAR confirmed its monthly uptrend with a low, high, higher, low, and higher high. And we're gearing up for the first ever monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross in history. So if you think this move is massive here off 3 cents, we're now up 229%. We haven't even seen the monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross yet. And we're just confirming a monthly uptrend with virtually no resistance all the way up to the all-time high now at 57 cents. So very bullish on this name. What's another coin that's been ripping? So Link. massive move over the last few weeks. It was up like 55%. We've got some names. What was it? Filecoin. Yeah, over the last several weeks, up about 64%. Flare was another one. FLR. And it is a bit of it's an ascending triangle at the moment. So yeah, off of its low there, I get this under a penny. It's now up 100% from the low there at mid-January. But yeah, it is a ascending triangle here at the moment. So if we just take a look at the technicals for this, do a quick draw. So you can see here we do have this series of higher lows and a horizontal line of resistance, and it's looking to confirm. And this is a bullish continuation pattern. It usually breaks to the upside most often than not. Ascending triangle. Descending triangle is where you see this downsloping resistance and a horizontal line of support, and you usually see lower highs and then a horizontal line of support, and then it breaks down. Whereas in this instance, you're seeing a higher low and a horizontal line of resistance and a slanting support trend line instead of the slanting support resistance line. And then, like I said, this usually breaks bullish more often than not. And then you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, move it out, and it's saying we're targeting about 4.5 cents here on FLR. And F assets should be available soon, which means you'll be able to stake like Bitcoin. You'll be able to stake, I think, Dogecoin, XRP, Litecoin, I think, is on there as well. So essentially, it's going to be bringing smart contract functionality and capability to some of these chains that are just, they don't have that capability or that functionality, right? So very, very bullish. But in terms of movers and shakers, we have ETH, which is the Grayscale Trust, QKC, and Hex, followed by Flare leading the bull list today. And on the bear list, we have GMX, Storage, and Filecoin. Taking a look at SPY. So SPY is on the verge of a potential daily downtrend, which would signal weekly consolidation, meaning we're losing the low of the previous candle and we're starting to pull back. So we have 503.50, the new all-time high, and we have a lower high that just formed here at 502.87. It's all about 490.72 here in the short term. If we lose 490.72, then it's daily downtrend confirmed. And right now we're still in a daily uptrend here with a higher low, higher high pattern. So it's very, very important short term here that we hold 490.72. If we lose that, we're more than likely heading down to our next support there at 482.86, and then we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross heading towards daily oversold territory, which we haven't been there since all the way back in October. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened over the next few weeks. I think we could see a little bit of a cool sesh. I think we'll pull back, go sideways over the next few weeks, and then I think, towards the end of March and April, I think is going to be like a major euphoric blow off the top moment on equity markets and even crypto. I think that's when a full-blown and full-fledged alt season could start to really take flight. And then I think it's going to be a type of sell in May and go away. And then I think into the summer is when we could get rate cuts. And historically, when the Fed starts to cut and turns dovish, that's not good. Usually it says that we start to see a top in markets. And I'm also watching from Congress being banned from owning stocks as a potential top indicator. But as of right now, we haven't yet started weekly consolidation. It's a weekly inside bar. So again, resistance was that 503.50, the high of last week, and support is at 490.72, the low of last week. So when you see an inside bar like that, that usually means we're tightening up on the daily time frame. And when we confirm a daily downtrend or any kind of a downtrend, it means zoom out to the next higher level time frame and look for consolidation. So if we do confirm a daily downtrend with a loss of 470.72, that means zoom out to the next higher level time frame, in this case the weekly, and look for weekly consolidation. And that's the exact level, 490.72. We lose that weekly consolidation, then it's all the way down at 466.43 is where we have the next weekly support. So if we do lose 490.72, we confirm a daily downtrend, we start weekly consolidation, we could pull back all the way to 466 and still be in a weekly uptrend, right? So this is where people usually get very, very concerned when we start to pull back. If we pulled back to 480, 470, everybody's going to say, oh, the top's in. But in my opinion, there's no major red flags whatsoever. This is just healthy and it's just due. We haven't consolidated now in almost 2 months on the weekly time frame. So it's definitely due and it'll just be healthy and no major red flags. I'm not concerned at all about this bear market beginning and the end of the bull market until we confirm a monthly downtrend. And we're nowhere. We would have to lose 407.56 to lose the monthly uptrend. That's not even confirming a downtrend. That's just losing the uptrend. A downtrend would have to be something like this, where we come down, we form a lower high and then a lower low. We would have to consolidate, lose the low of the previous monthly candle. That would be a higher low, and then followed by a lower high and then a lower low. So we're at least 3 months away before we confirm a monthly downtrend. And again, that lines up with my thesis and way of thinking that it's probably going to be into the summertime, sell in May and go away is where we're going to probably top out. Sell in May and go away, June, July, is where we potentially start to sell off. And like I said, where we see the Federal Reserve potentially cut rates. And historically, that has not been good for markets, especially when you've seen face rippers of rallies and you're at all-time highs. DXY. So we're starting the monthly bounce. And that's a little bit of a clue as well that we could see monthly consolidation and weekly consolidation, daily oversold territory, but still could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here on the monthly time frame. The dollar, the most important resistance for the dollar is 107.34. If we break 107.34, we confirm a monthly uptrend. Since we have our low, high the bounce, higher low, and then we're trying to get the higher high now. So it's all about 107.34. If we break that, monthly uptrend confirmed on DXY, and that is not going to be good for stocks and crypto over the next few months. So that's the key resistance level to be watching. As long as we don't break that, I still think that the bull market is on and we haven't yet started a bear market. And then 99.57, most important support, but short-term support there at 100.61, and it's also 100 psychological. Lose 99.57, and then we have no support all the way down to about 89. Gold and silver. So gold back over 2,000, trying to set a quick monthly higher low here and hold monthly EMA 12, looking pretty good. Silver definitely weak comparatively, still unable to get above that 25 psychological level. That's been an absolute brick wall. Moving on, NVDA. This is a bit of a clue that we could see daily downtrends coming on the S&P 500 as well. NVDA, for the first time in a very long time. How long has it been? It's the first time in like a month and a half that we confirmed a daily downtrend. So we have our high, low, lower high, and lower low. And it was basically a double top there at the all-time high at 746.11. And they have earnings, tomorrow? Yeah. Earnings coming out tomorrow. So we have our high, low, lower high, double top essentially there at 744 compared to 746. And then a daily downtrend. Once we lost the low there at 696.20, that confirmed the lower low and daily downtrend. And we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross at this point, coming off overbought territory. And we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on our way to daily oversold. So this is not what we want to see. I'm going to be leaning bearish in terms of earnings, but estimate is 20.395 billion for revenue, and estimate for EPS is positive 4.593. So I'm going to go with a bearish earnings reaction. And we did have quite a bit of bear volume today, but no major climax or anything like that. But when you confirm a daily downtrend like that, again, similar to SPY, I was just giving you the daily downtrend scenario. And we've yet to confirm a daily downtrend. So what does that mean? Zoom out to the weekly, and then it's an inside bar. If we confirmed the daily downtrend, it would be weekly consolidation. And here's a good example. NVDA was basically the same setup, but a little bit weaker, right? So it's basically just front running the S&P 500, and not surprising because it's one of the leaders in the space, right? And then a lot of people have been following, a lot of companies have been following NVDA. So in theory, we should see other companies start to show some weakness, and then that would translate into the S&P 500 weakness, right? Because a lot of the weighting is in these names. So we had our lower high and lower low. That means, okay, we have our downtrend confirmed, zoom out to the next higher level time frame, and then voila, we lost the low of the previous weekly candle, weekly consolidation. But we're still a weekly uptrend, really, as long as 473.20 holds. So even from the low here to next weekly support, we could drop 30% and still be in a weekly uptrend, right? And we do have some hidden bearish RSI divergence here as well. If we just zoom out to the monthly, it's probably going to be easier to see. Yep. So you can see here we do have a series of lower highs and lower lows on the monthly time frame, while the price action is breaking out to higher lows and higher highs. So a bit of a red flag there. It is a monthly bull flag though. It says we could potentially be targeting like 1,000 plus. It's saying like $1,300, $1,400 for a monthly bull flag. I don't think that's the most likely scenario. I mean, the market cap would literally just have to, like, I don't think there's enough money to enter this at this point. I'm definitely going to be concerned. So I think that there's a good chance that the top may be in. Maybe we get to 800, 900. Maybe we come close to 1,000, but yeah, it's really definitely starting to look toppy in my opinion, especially with that hidden bearish RSI divergence. Something similar happened to Tesla. Tesla was one of the leaders in the space. You can see here we also had a head and shoulders as well, monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. We had higher lows and higher highs on the price action, and then bearish RSI divergence here with a series of lower highs and lower lows on the RSI on the monthly time frame. And then we broke the support there on the neckline, confirmed the monthly inverse head and shoulders, regular head and shoulders. We were targeting about 85. We hit 101, very, very close to that target, and ultimately heading to monthly oversold, but we didn't get there. And I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon. I think that would be in the next maybe a year from now. We hit monthly oversold potentially in a brutal bear market in the tech sector. But yeah, Tesla is a perfect daily inverse head and shoulders here. So you have our left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Says we're targeting about 218. We could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. We just confirmed a daily uptrend with a low, high, higher low, and higher high. That's exactly what you want to see, is a daily uptrend confirm as we're confirming the right shoulder and the daily inverse head and shoulders with a target up to 218 with an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross still on deck. And we had no daily resistance until 217, right? And that gap fill there at 206. So that was a sweet move there, a sweet entry there. Coming off daily oversold, you had all the signs in the world here to buy that dip at around 175. And then also if you zoom out to the weekly time frame, look at where support was. Was it the daily time? 163. I think it might have been on the daily time frame here. Hit 175. Yeah, it was kind of 177. 176 there, so there's been a lot of buying interest in that area. And then 175, next would be 150, and then that lines up with monthly support there at 152, right? Oops. All right, in terms of individual, I'm going to bring this home a little quicker now. VEGA, BIGG, and KHC leading the bull list today in terms of individual stocks, and CODE, JMIA, and HP leading the decline. But yeah, all eyes on NVDA going into tomorrow. Canadian MJ, so HMMJ, ETF in Canada, back testing EMA 12 and 26. We were seeing a bull cross of those EMAs though. Daily consolidation. We have the chance to change the daily trend now, but not a lot of volume on this ticker or on this ETF. And ACB was the lead bear today. Completed its 10-for-1 reverse split, and it just did a 1 for 12 back in May of 2020. And here we are, another reverse split, 1 for 10, and now the all-time high is sitting at $1,503. So I just posted a video on this if you want to check that out. But they appointed a new CFO, but obviously the reverse split weighing on the sector was lead bear today, and then the rest of the sector was down. SNDL, CGC, biggest losers on the day today, and then biggest gainers, XTRX, IMCC, INCR. Just as a reminder, I'm going to jump into the chat here in just a moment. I've been neglecting it a little bit here, and that's on purpose because I'm just trying to get through this. I don't have a whole lot of time. I got another 20 minutes or so, and then I got a jet. Like I said, I got a condo viewing. I've been on a buying spree in terms of condos here in Edmonton, Alberta, and now I'm starting to offload them as the market is starting to pick up big time here in the condo space. So in terms of, and if you do have any ticker requests, let me know in the live chat, your ticker and the exchange as well. That'd be appreciated to save time. And if you have any questions, if you want, just ask me anything at all by any means, just fire away. MSOS, so MSOS ETF, could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here at the moment. We're very close to seeing that happen. And we could be heading to daily oversold territory, which would be the first time since October as well. So very similar to the S&P 500 in that regard. In terms of the monthly time frame, like I said, did a video on this. We confirmed a monthly uptrend for the first time in ETF history. We have our low, high, higher low, and higher high. So once we broke 988, that confirmed the monthly uptrend. And we could be gearing up for a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, the first in history as well. But they're so far away right now that it's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 months before we saw those cross bare minimum. Might be longer than that, but I would say at least 3 or 4 months before we see that. There's news that Germany is going to be voting, I think it was tomorrow, and that should pass and go live April 1st. We have rescheduling potentially decision from the DEA coming out or sometime between now and the end of April, I think is the most likely scenario. And like I said, the charts really are pointing to the end of March and April being an absolute explosive month for MJ. We are seeing a stochastic bear cross, which is a bit of a concern for MSOS because that's generally what happens first when we start to see bearish momentum pick up. And we're very close to losing the 10-week moving average. That's usually the sequence. You see a stochastic bear cross on the weekly, then a loss of the 10-week moving average, then a MACD bear cross. And the flip side, on the reverse of that, you usually see on a bull cross of the stochastic cross bullish first, then we get over the 10-week moving average, then a MACD bull cross. Doesn't always play out that way, but I would say 80% of the time, 80 plus. So now we're seeing bear cross of the stochastic. I would think that the next piece of the puzzle would be a loss of 849, a weekly candle close at below 849. If that happens, we're going to see a MACD bear cross on the weekly time frame. And I just posted a video. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it sub $8. I think low sevens to high sixes is where we'll probably bottom out. And I done a video on this, and I'm not going to sound like a broken record, but there was multiple chance to buy under $5, and I was screaming from the rooftops. If you didn't get a chance to buy at $5, anywhere around $5 is an absolute buy, in my opinion. But again, not financial advice. Never buy or sell anything. I'll never tell you to buy, sell, or hold. I'm just saying what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't treat it as such. But yeah, $5 you bought there, massive upside. Came back down below $5, screaming buy, 478, massive upside. Yet another chance here, a couple weeks later, under $5, 492. Then here, 599. So you're starting to see momentum shifting, monthly uptrend confirming the first time in history. I don't think we're going to get under $5 anytime soon, maybe ever again on MSOS. And I'm sure we would all welcome that. But we're still in a weekly uptrend. So this is another example. And I just showed it with NVDA, right? NVDA could drop 30% and still be in a weekly uptrend. MSOS, we started weekly consolidation last week. How do we know that? Because we lost the low of the previous weekly candle. So 955, once we lost that last week, we started weekly consolidation, and we're now down over 13% from just that consolidation beginning. From the recent high there to the low, we're now down 22%, and we're still in a weekly uptrend. And from the low here, we could still pull back another 27% and still be in a weekly uptrend from the low there at 828. So again, this is why understanding charts and technical analysis, you don't have to be a guru or wizard. I'm by no means a financial expert when it comes to everything or when it comes to charting. Like, I know enough to be dangerous, and I know enough that works for me. And I would never, ever, ever buy or sell anything without looking at a chart first. Like, why would you? It wouldn't make any sense. And if you have a clear concept of, technical analysis 101 and the basics and the fundamentals, plop in RSI, learn what an uptrend is, what a downtrend is, get some exponential moving averages in there and some moving averages in there. I mean, most of these tools are free, and you can learn on YouTube. I have a course as well. You can check out powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com, and, join a community. You can join our community. You don't have to know everything. Everybody in our community, we've got about 50 people in there, and some people are good with, the fundamentals, the numbers aspects. Some are good with the technicals. Some are good with research, and some are good with other strengths and weaknesses, right? So we all kind of complement each other, and it takes kind of some of the guesswork out, and it's just always nice to have a bunch of eyes looking on at the market at the same time and getting different perspectives and having, people that you can bounce an idea off of before you hit the buy or sell button, really, at the end of the day. But no major red flags here whatsoever on MSOS, but a little bit concerned here on the daily time frame with that EMA 12 and 26 bull cross heading to daily oversold. And like I said, SPY potentially doing the same. And we haven't been oversold on the daily time frame on MSOS or the S&P 500 since October. So if MSOS were to hit daily oversold, I would think SPY would, and if SPY would, vice versa, right? And like I said, the S&P 500 hasn't really seen any weekly consolidation in a couple months. It's due, it's healthy, and we want to see that pullback, right? Because if we don't see those pullbacks and the supports established along the way, then we see those waterfall moves down, right? Where we give it all back, right? Look at the HHS recommendation and fade and hype, right? We didn't confirm a monthly uptrend, gave it all back. Now we confirm the monthly uptrend, we're back higher than we were at the HHS. So this is great, right? There's nothing to be to worry about. If it goes to $7, $6, I'll be backing up the truck, right? But again, not financial advice. In terms of movers and shakers today on the US side of things, MRMD, BAM, and FLGC, followed by TAT. On the bear list, IAN, Acreage, and RWE. So yeah, IAN had an error in their reporting and their financials, so this is a dumpster fire. That continues. No interest in this company. I'm surprised they're still around, to be honest, but I think they just started a new dispensary as well. But I would say they're more than likely they're either gonna go insolvent, the B word, or they're gonna get acquired by another company. I think that's the most likely scenario. They probably get acquired. All right, I think that's pretty much all I have to say in terms of market updates. So we'll jump into the chat here. But yeah, thanks for the good luck, Jamlosi, on the condo sale. Really hoping for those of you that are tuning in late, I've been on a condo buying spree here in Edmonton, Alberta. I bought 4 in the last 3 years, and I'm looking to start offloading them now. So I've got 2 on the market, looking at potentially putting a third one on, and then my Airbnb condo, I'm cash flowing like 200 to 300% a month, so I have no interest in selling that anytime soon, but I may look to offload it into the summer and the spring, where it's usually the highest peak of the best time to sell. And the condo market's just absolutely ripping here. It's been on a 15-year downtrend, though, in Edmonton, Alberta, and Alberta at large. But yeah, it's looking like there was a condo for sale, and I heard through the grapevine that they were trying to sell it for like the last 2 years, and they put it up for sale 4 days ago, it was 11 days ago, and it's already pending. So it's crazy. They're just going as quick as you can list it. So like I said, hopefully I've already had a couple of viewings, got another one tonight and another one tomorrow. So yeah, thank you. Wish me luck and appreciate the good luck wishes. Hopefully it plays out. But yeah, there's like some of the condos that I bought, I could sell for over double now, just a few months later. And like I said, my Airbnb, I'm cash flowing. Like my expenses are $1,200 a month, and I'm making anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 a month as a short-term rental. So why on the earth would I sell that for any less than double what I paid for it? Paid like $125K for it. I wouldn't let it go for any less than, I wouldn't let it go any less than 200. Maybe I'd entertain like a 225 or something like that. But what kind of property do you know that you can buy and cash flow 200, 300% with these interest rates, right? And these troubling times that we're in. So I don't know. Maybe I'll hold on to that one for another year or two. Essentially, what I want to do is offload all of these condos before 2025 and 2026. Because what is 2025 and 2026? That's 5 years later after the ultra low interest rates at 2%. So all those people that bought during 2020 and 2021 during the pandemic, who got 2%. They're going to renew. Their mortgage is going to renew in a year or two at like 6 or 7%, maybe even higher. Maybe it's 5%, maybe it goes a little bit lower. Maybe it's 4%. But at the end of the day, on average, I think most are going to double. Their interest payment's going to double. And Canadians and most people right now are only a couple $100 away on a monthly basis from not having enough money to pay their bills. So what's going to happen when these people bought a $500,000 home and their interest payment is $500 or $1,000 a month, and that doubles? Well, that's an extra $500 to $1,000 extra when majority of Canadians are only $200 away from not being able to pay their monthly bills, right? So that's a lot more than $200 in a monthly jump in bill price, right? So it's going to be bad. So what I'm looking to do is unload my condos in the next 1 to 2 years, and then I'm going to be looking to buy a house on foreclosure and just rock bottom prices. And if I can get a house, a nice 3-4 bedroom house here, detached home for $300,000, $350,000, who cares if the interest rate is 6%, 7% for the next 5 years, right? Because I'm not buying. Some of these homes right now are going for like $600,000. They're selling for like $600,000, $700,000. There's a bidding war in Calgary not too long ago. My buddy said it sold like $50,000 over asking. It's just crazy. Some of these single family homes, right? And like I said, I think we're going to see. It's going to be bad, I think, in 2025, 2026. Even the stock market's pointing for one of the worst crashes in market history as well. So couple that with a real estate implosion, yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. So that's my game plan. I'm prepared for all scenarios, but that's my game plan. I'm sticking to it. And so far it's been pretty much like, I don't have a crystal ball, but just knowing a little bit, right? Just doing research and just understanding simple economics, right? When most people were buying homes in the pandemic, paying these absurdly high, like low interest rates, but the prices were ridiculous, right? So why would you pay $500,000? Like some of these homes weren't even worth $200K, and some people are paying $500,000 for them. And I'm like, you do realize that interest rates are going to renew a lot higher and a $500,000 home. But anyway, during that time I was selling my homes, right? Because some of my buddy in PEI on the East Coast of Canada, 4 years ago now, would have been 3 years ago, last year at the peak, he could have sold his home. He bought it for $200K. And 3 years later, he could have sold it for $400,000. But he's like, why would I do that? I got to rent high. The rents are high around, and I need a place to live, so I can't sell, right? But he would have pocketed $200,000, and it's your primary point of residence, so that's tax-free, right? So the condo that I just bought, that I moved into, the 2-bedroom, if I sell it for 100% gain, it's tax-free, right? So you buy a condo for $100,000, and a year later you sell it for $200,000. You keep that $100,000, right? So that's crazy. So I've been talking about this for the last 2 years too. I've been doing videos on this as well, and pretty much exactly what I expected happened. And I'll probably even sell too soon. Like I'll probably sell a condo and it'll probably go up another 50% from there, I would think, because it's just like, where can you buy a condo downtown in any major city for $50,000? And that's Canadian. So for you folks that are American, that's like $30,000. Where can you buy a condo downtown in a major city with 1 million people, with the Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid, right, for $35,000 American? That's insane. Like it's opportunity, right? No ticker requests here. Just waiting on Canadian MJ to bounce on news. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going to be, right? It's gonna take a headline. It's gonna take some major news catalyst, more than likely, to knock us out of this funk. And yeah, we've got a ton of headlines. Florida on the ballot. yeah, there's lots to be excited about. Germany coming online, rescheduling, uplisting to the NYSE and the Nasdaq, safer banking, gaining traction, safer, safest, whatever it is at this point. XLM and XRP just never pump while crapcoin ETH almost at all-time highs. Yeah, it's frustrating for sure, but I've just been accumulating XRP, XLM. I'm done buying XLM, but I can never own too many XRP. I'm like Michael Saylor when it comes to XRP. You can never have too many. And yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's fine. It's good. It's a good thing that Ethereum is pumping and that we're seeing these other projects that are the highest in market cap get back to 52-week highs and all-time highs, because that just means that the laggards, which is typically your XLMs and your XRPs, it's just confidence to us that our time is close, right? And to me, not knowing who the creator of Bitcoin is, like that in and of itself, I made money on Bitcoin. I bought it when it was like 3,000, sold it at 40K, could have held it to almost 70K, made a lot more money, but don't want to be greedy. I made my money, I got out. I would never buy it again, or unless I found out, like if we find out that the creator of Bitcoin was 4 dudes or 2 guys and 2 girls in their basement, science project, and they have no criminal record, and we find out who they are, and they're all fine and dandy, okay, maybe I'll buy it again. But why would you buy something and not know who it is? Imagine buying any of these companies. Imagine buying Aurora or Tilray or the S&P 500, like Apple, right? All these companies that are in the S&P 500. How many of those companies in the S&P 500 do you think we don't know who the creator was? Like, it's just so silly, really, when you think about it. And then, like, people won't even talk about it. Forget, like, making decisions on that fact. People won't even talk about it. They don't even want to mention it. So we can't even have the conversation because they won't even bring it up. So that in and of itself is sketchy, right? So I wish, if you're holding Bitcoin, I hope it goes to 200,000. I hope you make $1 million. Hope it goes to $1 million. And I hope you don't sell before it gets to that. But at the end of the day, I will not own anything for the long term if I don't know who created it. It could be North Korea. It could be Russia. It could be, some friggin', it could be anything, right? Could be like terrorists. So I don't know. To me, I think it was a combination of the UK government and the American government basically working together, and they probably created it. Ethereum, I don't hold any. I think that it's probably going to be sued, especially with proof of stake. I mean, that's literally a common enterprise. You're relying on they're going to pay you, right? The network's paying you for staking. So that to me is a common enterprise, right? You're getting paid by the Ethereum network. So in my opinion, and then the Bitcoin miners could be the common enterprise. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I don't think Ethereum in and of itself is a security, but although with staking, it's a toss-up. But initially, I don't think it was a security because it's just computer code. How it was packaged and sold was definitely a security, in my opinion. So I think that they could very well be sued eventually. And I think a lot of people could go to jail in that project. So, but it's good to see that it's 52-week highs, all-time highs, getting close to it, because that just means that a lot of these other coins that haven't run yet, that typically run at the end of a cycle, and at the end of alt season, that just means we're getting closer to that happening, right? So, Tilray to the moon, you bet. Well, I just posted a video on that. If you haven't seen it, basically, we're looking at 2 scenarios. Bull and bear, we could potentially be heading down to $1.60 again, $1.50. There's a daily bear flag targeting around that $1.50 area USD. And then there's also an inverse head and shoulders on the daily time frame targeting around 220. So it's just all about support and resistance. We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. But yeah, I hold Tilray. I'm not worried at all. Not even a slight bit. I sleep very well at night. In fact, I wouldn't sleep very well if I didn't have exposure to Tilray. But I do think Tilray is going to be an absolute juggernaut. So I'm not worried for the long term. It's just a buying opportunity, in my opinion. Especially when a lot of these names like MSOS, CTF confirming monthly uptrends. Tilray literally could confirm a monthly uptrend anytime. And yeah, like any month now, Tilray could confirm a monthly uptrend. So I don't care if it's 3 months from now, 6 months from now, this month, next month. My bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for whatever, right? So the only way I'll buy more Tilray, though, is if we drop to a new all-time low. I'm keeping buying the great price, absolutely. Not financial advice, but if you had a couple extra thousand, what are you buying tomorrow? Great question. Yeah, well, obviously not financial advice, like you said, but great question, Strone. I would say XRP, Tilray, and MSOS. That'd probably be my three. In that order. I have buy orders on Tilray at 175 and 161. Yeah, we just hit 175. But yeah, the ask might not have been at 175, right? It might have been at like 176. So you might have just like missed it by a penny. But yeah, we hit it last week, didn't we? Yeah, last week we hit 175. So that means like the ask probably was like 176, 177, so. But yeah, right now it's a double bottom at weekly support at 175. So lose 175, we lose the weekly uptrend. As of right now, we're still in a weekly uptrend. Lose 175, then 161, then 150. But yeah, it's all about 161. We lose that, then it's not looking good at all. But could be one massive double bottom and then moonshot. I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen there, but you get the idea. Let's take a look here. What's going on, Flex? Hope all is well. Tilray, MSOS. Yeah, okay. We can take a quick peek at Tilray. So again, I just did a video. I do have to go here in about 10 minutes. I just did a video on Tilray and I did like extensive technical analysis over 14 minutes long. So I highly encourage you to check that out. But yeah, I just basically went over that. So 175 is key support here short term, because if we lose that, we lose the weekly uptrend. And then it's all about 161, which is monthly support. We lose that, then it's not looking good whatsoever. And then on the daily time frame, it is a daily bear flag targeting 154. So who knows? Maybe we come down and we flush 161. Everybody thinks we're going to a new lower low. The end is near, and we see a slight flush of that. We go down to 154, and then that's our bottom. That could happen. But again, we don't know. We can't predict the future, so we just look at support and resistance. That's a potential right now. We have this channel, a descending channel that's forming here as well. We have an inverse head and shoulders potential. So it's all about 175. Lose 175, then we lose the weekly uptrend. We negate this inverse head and shoulders, and then daily downtrend continuation, and then daily bear flag continuation down to around 154. But if we hold 175, if we hold 175, come back to the neckline, form a potential right shoulder, then we could see this inverse head and shoulders, which is a bullish reversal pattern in a downtrend, and that target would bring us up to around 222 USD on the NASDAQ. So it's all about 175 here in the short term, then 161 in the medium to long term. And then, yeah, we don't have really any resistance till about $2 psychological, then 222, the inverse head and shoulders target. If we do confirm that, it's early, we still haven't done the right shoulder yet. And then after that, it's 254, the high of the earnings reaction. MSOS. So maybe you even commented on this one before I got into the chat, but yeah, we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross heading to daily oversold, similar to the S&P 500. So key support right now is 828, lose 828. Next support is at 770, 704. So yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we somewhere find a bottom around that low sevens, high sixes, hit daily oversold. So when you confirm a monthly uptrend, for the first time in history, not like it's been multiple years since some years have done it. Some names have done it in the MJ space. Like we're talking 3+ years. MSOS is the first time ever. So there's definitely going to be pullbacks, even though we're in a monthly uptrend, right? There's going to be pullbacks, even though we're in a bull market. But what is usually a good idea or a good area or a good signal to load up after a big move to the upside and after a monthly uptrend confirming? That would be daily oversold. And look, we haven't been daily oversold since October, same with the S&P 500. So if the S&P 500 is heading to potential daily oversold territory over the next few weeks, that increases the odds that we see headwinds and MSOS doing the same, because it hasn't been oversold since the same time in October. It's a very long time. And we're due for a healthy correction, and we're not set up well if the broader market sees any kind of healthy correction or weakness, right? So at this point, MSOS could follow suit, and daily oversold territory is usually a good area to target for entries after confirming a monthly uptrend, right? You don't want to buy into monthly resistance breaking, right? Because we just ran, hundreds of percent, and we're probably due for a pullback. And then sure enough, after the monthly uptrend confirmed, we pulled back 21%, right? People probably buying on a break at $10 thinking, okay, yeah, bull market's on, bull market confirmed. And then here we are going back down to $6, $7. They're just going to sell the bottom again. The people that bought $10 and above, right? They're going to get emotions. They're going to feel some type of way. They're going to sell the bottom again, right? So usually after a big bull move like that, right, off 492 up to 1064, we're up 116% off the lows. And daily oversold territory, but it's hard to fight that FOMO, right? Hard to fear of missing out. But yeah, daily oversold, if you're not happy with the amount of MSOS bags you have, if you're looking at adding to your MSOS position, watch for daily oversold territory to add. That would probably put us somewhere, like I said, around that low 7s, high 6s. And then, like I said, we saw a bear cross of the stochastic. That's not great. We're very close to losing the 10-week moving average and then seeing a weekly MACD bear cross again, adding more confidence that we could see more downside and potential daily oversold conditions. We're also set to lose the 100 weekly potentially, and we have the 50 weekly there at 660 where we could potentially backtest again for the second time to confirm that on a nice weekly higher low again for the second time as very strong support. And then on the daily time frame as well, MSOS has the 50 there at 807, lose that. Then again, is exactly what I'm thinking about. Low 7s, high 6s. We have the 100 at 739 and the 200-day moving average at 667. So I would say somewhere around that 740 to 660 is where we should form a nice bottom, and then start to trend back to higher highs somewhere around that $12.50 to $15 area on MSOS over the next few months, in my opinion. We get rescheduling to Schedule 3. Florida passes the adult use, and then enactment in 2025, and then uplisting of the NYSE and the NASDAQ, Germany coming online. There's no telling. MSOS could be at 20, $30 in no time, right? We're talking like a matter of months. So, but obviously not financial advice, just my own thoughts and opinions. Hi, just joined from Toronto. Welcome. Love Toronto. Got lots of family in Ontario and Toronto surrounding area. And haven't been in a long time. I hear there's lots of construction going on around there though. Probably not the best with the rush hour already being brutal in Toronto. I can't imagine that's any fun. So, but yeah, welcome from Toronto, and hi from Edmonton, Alberta. What is going on with MJ stocks? I'm getting so sick of seeing my portfolio going down. Yeah, so basically just what I talked about, right? When we see monthly uptrends confirm, we're up 100% off of the lows, you need to expect pullbacks, right? After running 110% on an MSOS ETF, you need to expect a 20-30% pullback, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Daily oversold territory should mark a nice bottom, like I said, around that low 7s, high 6s. And let this be a lesson too. Next time, this is not uncommon. This is what new emerging burgeoning industries do, right? When there's so little capital in the space, right? We're talking, some of these names are only 100 million, some names only like 10, 20 million market cap. When we get into the billions, then that's when these drawdowns are going to be less significant, right? You're not going to see 30% pullbacks in like a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Like look at MSOS, it's down like 30%, 20, 30% in, a matter of weeks. And then you take a look at like Amazon, you'd never see, if Amazon dropped 20, 30% in a matter of weeks, it'd be like World War, it'd be like Armageddon, right? The world is over, right? So it's just, it's a nascent industry. It's to be expected, and it just comes with experience. Once you've been around, once you've seen a crypto bear market, once you've seen a 99% pullback in crypto, a 99% pullback, even Amazon pulled back like 95% from its high in 2000 to the low of the bear market in the .com days, right? So it's all the same. It's just technical analysis. It's just bull and bear cycles and boom and bust cycles, right? Are we now in bottom yet, or is it still a falling knife? I would say it's still, Shams, I would still think we're going to see a little bit more downside from here on MJ. I'd say the next 2 to 3 weeks, probably going to continue to be bearish or sideways movement, downwards movement, and then into the end of March and April, I think that's when we're going to really start to see price appreciation in a big way. I think we're going to see some massive upside into the spring. The price doesn't scare me. I sleep well. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on, again, it goes back to experience, right? If you don't have a whole lot of experience, if you invested more than you were willing to lose, if you're not diversified, if you have all your money into one MJ stock or one sector, all of this plays a factor. And yeah, just, one simple thing too is like when you buy something, you should almost like, it's almost a guarantee that it's probably going to go down lower than what you bought it at, unless you're a trader and you're entering at like support and you got a stop loss like 1% below support or 1 penny below support or $1, whatever it is, right? But you're not really investing at that point. You're just trading, right? So if you're investing and if you're buying something for the long term, you should almost put it 100% probability that it's going to go lower than what you bought it at. So when you go to buy something, you can either dollar cost average, you can scale in, you can buy 3 different orders. You can, let's say if a stock's at $10, you can say, okay, I'll start to scale in at $7.50, another one at $5, another one at $2.50, right? Or, you could go 100% all in. That's another option as well. Near, if we're down 99%. You look at a chart and we're like, Tilray's down 98% from all time. I'm just going to put my whole, if I got 10,000 to invest, I'm just going to put it all in, right? Because we're down 99% from all time highs. That'd be an okay strategy. But, if we're down 20% from all time highs on Tilray and we're at monthly overbought, well, you're probably not going to want to put all your money in that you have to invest into it at that point, right? You're probably going to take a scale in approach, a dollar cost averaging approach, right? Or maybe you short it, get some money on the downside, and then take that profit and buy on the low, right? That's what money market makers do, right? These institutional investors, right? They're the ones usually selling when retail is buying, and they're usually the ones buying when retail is selling, right? So it's like, if we can think like a market maker, then we'll do a lot better. But yeah, just pretty much come to terms with if you're investing, if you're buying something for the long term and you're going to be holding for the long term, then you need to expect prices are more than likely going to go down from where you bought it at, and have a plan for that. That's really, at the end of the day, all you can do. And we're not at the end of the day, it usually shows that the data shows that people who hold and buy and hold for the long term do better than people that are trading or getting in and out of positions. I compare trading, like, it's probably even worse now with all the bots and algos that we have in the markets. Like, most of the trading is, I would say, like 90+% of it is computers doing it now, right? So basically, if you're a quote unquote day trader and you do this full time, you're competing against robots, right? Majority of them are robots. So I would compare it to, how many people make the NHL? How many people make the NBA? How many people make the NFL? It's probably the same number of people are successful at trading and actually being profitable, right? I do trading sometimes, but it's only in very rare circumstances. And I don't like to deal with the stress, and I don't really need the extra money. Like, I definitely don't need it to live off of. And I mean, I'm not knocking anybody who does it full time and is a full time trader. I mean, by all means, if that's what floats your boat and you're good at it, then keep doing it. But personally, I don't like being a slave to the computer. I'll take some trades here and there, but it's just way less stressful to buy and hold something. And I mean, imagine the people who were trading Amazon back in the day, they're probably just sick to their stomachs. It's like, why didn't I just hold, right? And hindsight's always 20/20. But I mean, it's not just Amazon. Look at Apple, look at all these companies, right? Look at NVDA, look at all these cryptos. Imagine you just bought Bitcoin at $100 and held onto it, right? But people don't understand, right? They get emotions. They don't really have a price target or an exit plan or an entry plan, right? So it's all about having a plan. And yeah, price being low shouldn't scare you, right? It should be. And in fact, it's kind of the opposite now. When I see low prices, I'm like, wow, this is insane. The only place where people don't want to discount, I'll take it, right? It's like lining up at a grocery store and, they got 50% off. Things are down 99% from the regular prices. And nobody wants to buy it. They're like, oh, no. All these, the groceries must be like rotten or something. They're down 99%. I'm going somewhere else where the prices are normal, right? It's weird. It's a weird phenomenon, and it's a weird dynamic, but it is what it is. So yeah, change that mindset, right? If you're scared by the low prices, don't be. There's probably a reason why you're scared, and that may be because you broke the golden rule. You invested more than you were willing to lose. You're not diversified enough. Maybe you don't have enough experience. Maybe, you didn't start with paper money, fake money. There's so many things that go into it, right? And then eventually, once you gain experience, you'll love the low prices. Great teaching. I'm a beginner, so I like that you talk about TA, technical analysis. Yeah, you bet. Well, I can be honest with you. Technical analysis was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to learn. But I said that about riding a bike whenever I was a kid too, right? I hated it. I never wanted to keep doing it. Got my training wheels off. I said, this is the hardest thing ever. And then a couple weeks later, I'm driving with no hands on the handlebars, right? So it always seems impossible. And then once you start to really get down the basics and the fundamentals, it's like, wow, I can't believe I never understood this, right? So yeah, going into it there. It's Rob with Powell Group. Thanks everybody once again for joining the live stream. Thanks for all your comments and contributions. As always, I love each and every one of you who supported me along the journey. I'm here for it. I'll be making videos, and as long as I'm on this earth, essentially. So yeah, have a great night, and we shall see you again on the next video. Take care.